Hello, I'm Omri, and today we're coloring. Which I'm excited for because doing line art, talking is super difficult. Um, if you don't know, I'm drawing VTubers. I'm sort of going back and forth between them. Like I had the other videos, I drew a couple of other VTubers, but like, and I'm still working on them. Just thought for some visual interest, fun if I worked on something different. This is Yumi VT, I think. And they have a very friendly disposition to them. So I kind of wanted to make them leaning forward a little bit. Like they're excited to see you, excited to talk to you. Uh, yeah. I also have their image that they sent to me in the file, just because I can pick and drop colors easier that way. And now you'll find out how chaotic my painting style is. My secret is that I don't actually ever draw the iris. I usually paint that in last. I'm actually gonna go to the next one, next layer. Start coloring the clothes. Just so I have a reference to where the skin needs to stop. I know I have the lines, but why use lines when you can use color? So yeah, drawing VTubers. I know last time I said oh, this one's gonna be different, but the different thing that I was gonna work on, it ended up I finished that early. So get on the old stuff again. And the thing I finished early, if you didn't know, was my thank you for 100 followers on Twitter. It was made Omri. I was very proud of how it looked. And then I'll use purple to be the hair color, or at least the base. I really like coloring more than I like drawing. Well, okay, I like drawing physically more, but I like painting digitally more. If that makes sense. Like it's really hard for me to draw raw on the tablet actually. 'Cause I don't know. I guess I got so used to the friction of like a paper, pencil and paper. But with real like painting, there's no mess, and that alleviates a lot of the stress of painting. How am I going to clean this up? Or is this substance cancerous for me? Is yes. Fun fact: most oil painting is extremely dangerous. Even to ghosts. Like you think it wouldn't be? They're already dead. But really, it's just that bad. Bring that in more. It's also super flammable, so If you're working with oils, wear gloves. Work in a well ventilated area. Don't start a fire. And you should be okay. Don't let it touch your skin. That's the one thing about oils that I've learned is do not let it touch your skin. That it never goes away and it goes into your bloodstream. So that's a little fun fact for people who don't paint. And maybe if you do paint, you didn't know that. If you ever handled oils with your bare hands, it is in your bloodstream forever. Have fun with that now. Let's talk about something not so scary. Oh, talk about my channel. Okay, so I was, or like I still am, trying to do, what was I talking? Oh, right, the channel. I was trying to get to 30 subscribers. I probably shouldn't. I guess I could announce the name in the video informally, but I think my name for you guys is gonna be Poltergeists. I'm gonna type that out on the screen. Don't think my voice or my enunciation probably covered exactly what I said. But Poltergeists, like Polterpup from the Ouija, but you're a guest. So I hope you guys like that. Right now I have I erase that line. There you go. I think yes. Right now I have what are numbers? Erase that. Yeah, 12 poltergeists at the graveyard. My goal is to get 30 by the end of this month. And to be honest, I'm not really sure I can do it. I'm having doubts about it. Not to be like super negative, just to sort of share. This is my like Omri, their Omri diaries. And I think the important thing to remember, especially like online and social media and stuff, is that the numbers, I'm not gonna say numbers don't matter because they do. You know, the more followers and stuff you have, the more people see your stuff, and the more people that will support you. But what I'm trying to say, or I guess what I'm trying to prove, is that numbers don't have to stop you. And I think that's where I got caught up, and what I think a lot of people get caught up with the numbers. It's not so much the numbers don't matter. It's all in your head and what the numbers mean. Because I mean that would just be sort of ignoring the reality of the situation. What I really mean to say is that like it, the numbers don't control you. How did that end up so much lower than the other one? It's also not. Hmm. Just gonna fix that real quick. I do feel kind of bad for saying, oh, well, the numbers do matter, but I think it's more important to acknowledge something rather than being like, don't worry about it, because I can definitely see for some people being like, it doesn't matter. Numbers don't matter. You're not a number. And there is a lot of truth to that, because you're not a number. You're a person, or a ghost, or a demon, or a witch, or a slug, or a whatever you want to be. You're not a number. And because you're not a number, you don't have to follow the rules of numbers. You don't have to wait. Oh, like, what? Whoa. I accidentally made the brush real big. To wait until, like, oh, slightly offset the faces. I can just, like, nope. Is that better? I think so. I think that's better. Okay. You don't have to wait till you get a certain number to be like, I'm gonna do this now. I'm gonna reach this milestone and do this. I say that as someone who is very self conscious about numbers and who doesn't want to be. And told myself, oh well, when I get to this number, I'll play this game or do this, or I'll play a more well known game, or I'll like reach out to like to devs or something. But instead of waiting for like a number to tell me that was okay to do, I just did it. And it's kind of the hardest part, I think. Hope the stuff I'm saying makes some sense. I keep losing track of what I'm saying. That's my spiel about numbers. What else? I talked about the channel. Talked about what I'm doing today. What else is there to talk about? Oh! I'm painting today. I don't know if I said that yet. I don't know if you could tell. I am painting today because I thought it'd be more interesting. Show you something a little different. Also, show you my confession. I guess I can just confess. I don't actually draw the iris. I paint that in at like the last minute because I don't know. I just think it stands out a little bit more to me. Oh, right. This down here also part of the outfit. My other confession is that I'm very messy. Maybe that's not a confession so much as just a statement you probably figured out already. I know it's not part of the hair technically, but convenience sake, I'm acting like it is. Zoom out a little bit so I can see better. What am I doing with this? Okay. But I'm very messy. And not in like a disorganized way. Specifically in art, I just can't seem to keep things neat and tidy. Like you saw in the previous videos, if you watched them, I'll do like 7 line art because the layer before it was too messy to uh, to even be usable. For me, it's like I need to see the entire process. They say like really big name artists, like really good ones that I don't know the names of off the bat, and I don't want to get wrong. They say that the reason why they're so good and they can just crank out like a fully detailed drawing in like one sitting for like 10 minutes is because they're doing all the work in their head. They're doing all the proportions and placement and stuff in their head, and that's why it looks so impressive. But they're really only using the basic tools everyone can learn. Like anyone can draw. But for me, it's like I feel like I need to see those things, so I go over and over again on like the same parts. 'Cause I get like I guess like cold feet, you could say, about what I'm doing. And I'll be like unsure eh, if lines are right, so I won't like commit to certain lines, leaving very messy drawings. But I think it works for painting at least a little bit because what was I gonna say? Oh, for painting. I think painting you can get away with a lot messier because colors blend together in your mind better than lines form in your mind. Like if you've ever seen what's that called? The afternoon in the park. It's made out of dots. It's on the screen right now. That painting. It is all made out of dots, and it's the reason it's all made out of dots or points, I guess, if you want to be technical. But the reason why pointillism was a thing is because they figured out that your eye really doesn't need to see what it needs to see, like what you think it needs to see. So with painting, it's a lot more forgiving because you can have colors kind of be right, and as long as they're in the like approximate area and they're next to colors that also are kind of right, like it's much more forgiving because here's the thing about that painting, and maybe I'll be zooming in right here. I don't know. Is that none of the colors are mixed. It's all individual colors, literally just dots on top of each other. And the reason that it is like so important and so impressive is because they figured out that the eye kind of does a lot of assuming with color. So if you paint something, and even if it's not like perfect, like well, I guess also another little history lesson, like Van Gogh. He painted a lot of like landscapes, portraits, but if a lot of those things kind of, at least I feel, only really work because they're paintings and not drawings. Like I'm not a teacher, so please don't be mad at me if I'm wrong. This is just my opinion on things I've observed. Like Leonardo da Vinci is a great draftsman. He can draw things exactly as they are. He's also did a bunch of other stuff, but that's not important right now. Van Gogh, I don't think he's not the greatest like draftsman. And what I mean by that is that like his paintings are very, oh God, people are gonna hate me. People are gonna hate me for like talking for insulting Van Gogh, and I'm not. I just talking about something I have no idea. This is all my opinion about art. I don't know anything. I've been dead for over 100 years. Please leave me. Don't be too harsh on me. I'm sorry. I forgot my train of thought. There was a back when oh shoot, I started the sentence and I was like, I don't know if this is a cool thing to do. I guess because it involves a lot of complicated issues. But okay, well there is a Van Gogh had a weeb phase, and during his weeb phase, he tried to copy like Yukio Yukioi Yuki, tried to copy those woodblock prints. And one of his copies, he tries to write Japanese, and he doesn't try to write it. He tries to paint Japanese, and I hope I could find that image again. And I also try to credit all the images that I put up because I don't want the Met getting mad at me. Oh, also, fun fact: if you ever do something about art, you don't. It's not so much you need to credit. It's not as important that you credit the artist. Actually, that sounds wrong. The important thing is that you always include credit to the museum where the work is held. Yes. Please don't be mad at me if I get any of this wrong. Um. Oh, Van Gogh in his weep face. He, when I say he tried to paint Japanese writing, is it he? I guess because he couldn't figure it out. Obviously, he didn't know Japanese. He was doing it just by eye. And he was trying to, obviously, like, what would you do if, like, you didn't know any Japanese and you're trying to write it and you have it in front of you? You'd probably assume, like, okay, I can just redo the lines. That's simple. And you don't realize there's, like, a stroke order or, like, certain strokes a different weight and calligraphy. You just think, oh, that looks cool on a t-shirt. I can do that. That's what Van Gogh did. And you can kind of see how messy he really is. His attempt at Japanese writing was not great, at least in the example that I'm speaking on. And that's what I mean, going back to my original point, that he's a really great painter. And he kind of revolutionized painting as we know it as not needing to be a perfect draft of real life. It can be an impression. Fun fact, that's where the term impressionist comes from, I think. I might be wrong. I failed a lot of art history classes. This is just something I wanted to talk about. to make myself look somewhat smarter. And it's backfiring real fast. But yes, his was his work was rejected by the Academy. You have to say it all dramatic like that. The Academy. But it's also like French, so you have to say like L'Academy. Sorry. Uh, they did not like his work because it did not look like real life. But what he kind of started was the idea that you don't really have to make it like real life because color and light are very malleable and you don't actually need to be 100% accurate to make things look right. So, what I'm saying is, my drawings are messy, and just a messy artist in general. So, painting is just a little bit easier for me to sort of get into it and talk over than drawing. Did you like that maybe possibly inaccurate art lesson? It's one of those things that I think is such a shame because I, I really love art history. I love the history of modern art and how it's changed and how different groups of people of different identities have all made it their own in their own way. And, over the years, it became sort of a way for people who, especially, were like minorities or uh, not like heterosexual or heterosexual or cis to express themselves. And like, there's just a lot of really interesting things you can learn by looking up modern art history. It's like old art history. It's so boring. It's just like, oh, the Aztecs, they painted that wall, didn't they? I'm sorry for anyone who likes old art history. It's just not nearly as interesting to me as modern art history, where like the thoughts and actions of people still affect today. How now we see the world and just like, oh no, I really love it. I just can't hand in any homework on time, and thus I failed the class I was most excited to take. But I tried to learn as much as I can, and maybe, hopefully, you're thinking, "Wow, Omri got all of that wrong. Like not a single thing he said was right." And maybe you're like, "Okay, well, I'm gonna leave a comment and say everything you said was wrong." And if you do, thank you for leaving a comment. And because you wanted to show that I was indeed wrong, you go and you go to, I guess the net has a pretty comprehensive source for learning about art. Go to like the met.com and you find your sources and you say, no, everything you said about Van Gogh was a lie. He was a gerbil and he fought in World War IV and wasn't even an artist. He was a mathematician. And if you can prove that, then I'm not gonna I'm not gonna fight you on that. But because, or what that kind of means in the end, is that you watched my videos up to this point and you found something interesting and it made you go look something up. And if that is truth, or that's how that worked out, I'm very flattered because I might be wrong, but you don't have to be. And I think it's a really nice feeling. How long have I? Okay, I've been going for a while. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this draw paint episode. Hope to see you again next time.